Sound speeds. Cameras rolling.
Cameras rolling.
Action.
SD cards are cooking.
We have Tommy Wakefield on the pod. Thanks for doing it.
Heyo, good to be here.
In from LA.
Yep, Los Angeles.
And we all started together in North Carolina. Important lore if you're just tuning in.
You're like, who the hell is this guy? How do you get a spot on this pod? Well, nepotism.
On the coveted spot in the bedroom. We're just hanging out in my bedroom.
There's a line around the block for this. It's like a breath. Is this for food from a church? You're like, no. This is for a spot in the exclusive podcast.
There's rabbits up there. Oh, all right. Well,
that's our big selling point.
Yeah. Most podcast studios, they don't give you free water. Like, you can pet a rabbit. Get rid of your free demons.
It's mostly a petting zoo that has a podcast.
Yeah.
As opposed to a podcast that has rabbits.
Petting Zoo Pod would be a pretty good name.
That's what we should
Scrap this shit.
Throw it all down. Oh, man.
How's your New York trip been?
It's been so good. It's like, I feel like I got so lucky the last couple of New York trips where it was all sunny, and this was one of the first ones where it was just like wet and sad, and I just keep missing trains and planes and automobiles. And like today, I just took, this is all, I don't know, New York chatter. But I got wet. I got like wet and sad today.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a perfect combo.
In a way where I was like, oh, yeah, this is what everyone's talking about. Like, this is, but I'm not deterred. It's still the best city in the world. And,
wait, why were you wet and sad?
I sprinted to catch the wrong bus.
No.
Like it was like that. I saw the 59 and I was like, that's what it said on my phone. And I ran down the street and everyone was like, hey, he made it. Yeah, I was like, thank you. I fucking New York. And, and then it went one step and I checked my phone. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God. Then you just start getting booed on the bus.
Yeah, and they're like, fuck this guy.
Idiot. There's so little like tiny defeats you get in this city.
So many.
Where it's like the other day, let's go in the good old pawn shop. A staple of life.
Love a pawn shop.
You know what I mean? Just try and get a little extra scratch to get through the week. And I bring 2 watches, probably some of the nicest things I own. And I'm like in kind of like a bad neighborhood. And they're like, we only deal in gold. Like pure gold. And I was like, no one in 3 miles of here has pure gold. Like, if you had pure gold, you'd sell it and move out of this hellhole. There's no way.
Why would you live here if you had a stash
is gold
of gold?
That valuable, though, still? Because you think of it as like, oh, the gold standard. But it's like, is gold more valuable than, like, Bitcoin?
No
like,
way.
how much do you get for, like how much is, like, a bar of gold worth?
It's still, like, a lot of money.
Hold up. Please
Look,
continue with the story, but I'm going to Google this because I want to know.
Also,
I feel like it was, like, since the 1920s, we just, like, have this thing in our head of, like, oh, gold. But I'm like, I don't think gold is that.
No. But that's also like one of the most obnoxious. It's like, is gold more valuable than Bitcoin? It's like, that fucking mug is more valuable than Bitcoin because it actually exists.
No, I'm not like a pro Bitcoin. I'm not like fighting for Bitcoin. I'm just saying, I'm like, gold as like the thing we measure everything against. It's like how. Okay, hold up. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt the story, but I'll let you know when I find it.
You're sharing the outrage.
My favorite part about Bitcoin is you're not allowed to say anything bad about it or the price goes down.
Yeah.
Like everyone on the internet is
that's how you can tell it's a stable currency of the future, where if you talk bad about it for 2 seconds, it'll collapse.
Or fucking block you on
gold
Twitter.
is still worth a lot of money. It's like almost $2,000 per ounce.
Okay, so that's a shitload.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
That's what they used to charge me for weed back in North Carolina.
Big news, everybody. Big news. The value of gold has gone up $2 since yesterday.
Wow.
Things are happening.
Yeah, so you heard it here first.
This is the Kramer
Because
report.
we heard it from Forbes.com
and
didn't fact check it.
Money.
Yeah. No, there's like a big screen behind me. But it's like instead of stocks, it's just gold watches. It's like the stock of gold watches going up and down.
What is making gold go up and down now, too?
I think just fear. I think just general fear. When you're like, society's going to collapse and I'm going to have to just trade like shiny nuggets of gold for water.
I would love to be like a doomsday prepper that's like, the U.S. dollar isn't backed by gold. It's backed by fear.
Kind of
genuinely, that is what it is.
Yeah. It's just
backed by guns.
I don't understand how like the economy works, but it does seem like one dude can have a bad day and then we're like, $1's not $1. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Oh, man.
It's just an imaginary thing. We all agree when they're like, the U.S. has billions of dollars in debt, and it's like, they're gonna repo the country? Like, what are you talking about? It's all just an imaginary thing right now. You just stop it.
Wait, so what happened? So okay, they're like, we'll only take gold.
Yeah, And then, so I leave that pawn shop. Now, the great thing about the neighborhood I was in, a lot of pawn shops. a lot of pawn shops,
You're like,
a
fuck
lot
you, bro, I'll
of
go
liquor
next
stores,
door.
you know? All people want is a chance to
That is-
escape and money.
Dude, that is a weird thing with New York where it's like I was walking, like there's just like so many like the same thing everywhere. Where like one time I was walking and I got a slice of pizza and I was like eating it as I walked and I was like, damn, I should have gotten a second slice. And then there was another pizza place and I just walked in and got, like, you can just walk on a conveyor belt of like buying shit. Or like
Yeah.
I got a Dunkin' Donuts coffee and I was drinking it and I dropped it and it fucking splattered on the ground and I was like, fuck. And I looked up and there was another Dunkin' Donuts like 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can just keep going.
Yeah, if you're bummed out, just keep going in New York.
It really,
Just
in the
keep going.
most romantic way, it is an endless strip mall.
Yeah.
Just like stores
That's-
endlessly.
That really
until
is
you're
just
drowning.
We're like, this is such a beautiful city. It takes my breath away. And it's like, yeah, just imagine a strip mall in whatever weird, boring
Yeah,
suburb
if it
you're
had
in.
a roof, it would
Yeah.
just be that.
Yeah, we're like, New York has everything. It's like, well, it doesn't have like horseback riding and
Yeah.
like carousels. It's
Yeah.
like, it is all shit you can buy.
Yeah, yeah.
It has a lot of different stores.
Yeah, that's a different ways to break you down. But speaking of breaking you down, so then I go to this other pawn shop, and then again buzz in, graffiti on the wall, same thing. He's like, only gold. And I'm like, I'm defeated a little bit. I'm getting a little irritated. I'm like, you won't buy them for anything?
These are nice watches.
These are nice watches. And then he just goes, yeah, no, it's not. He's like, your best bet, selling them on the street.
On the street.
And he said, have a good weekend. Which you just told me to panhandle for cash.
Damn.
And then you're like, I hope you have a good time.
Wait, are they selling things in the pawn store though?
Yeah, there's like Jordans and stuff behind there.
Okay.
But I think
Oh, so they only deal with gold for watches.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant they literally only deal with gold. They're
Period.
like, hey,
no,
we're
a lot,
up.
like a
a lot of
gold
them do
store.
only deal with gold.
Okay, but I thought they were like literally like, we're a pirate's chest and you walk in and everything is gold. They have like shoes and
Yeah.
electronics and other shit.
Well, not at it was like gold, and then this one was gold and shoes.
Wow.
It was like 5 pairs of shoes on the wall.
I didn't even
There's
know there
like
was.
a bulletproof glass that's like 4 inches thick. Like it's like you have to be buzzed in.
But I didn't even know gold was still going on.
People-
What is it? It's like jewelry.
no gold
Yeah.
was still a thing.
It's a big.
I mean,
deal.
really, I was
people
like-
are sporting.
We've been on the internet for so long. We're like, people still do gold.
Yeah.
People go
People are
outside.
throwing gold. around.
Yeah, I thought grass was out of style.
Yeah.
People are still doing grass and
Still
meadows.
grass, picnics. Ugh. My God.
Wow. Wait, so did you?
Old school. Hey,
Oh,
yo.
sorry.
God damn it.
Answer
Sorry,
it.
that was an alarm.
Silence.
It was a reminder to ruin the flow of the podcast.
Yeah. So, like Tommy's thing, it's been a rainy weekend. It started to rain, and I walked about 1.5 miles home.
I do like it though. I mean,
And the watches like rust because they're not real
Yeah, yeah,
gold.
yeah. It's like just green, just all over, falling apart.
what I like
Yeah.
about it though is I feel like I trend a little like melancholy, you know. And in LA, it's just you're walking in this beautiful sunshine. You're like, this is me. There's no reason for this. But in New York, it's like the city will match your energy, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay. It almost makes me feel better. Like the city's kind of.
City's also sad.
The city's also sad. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm not alone. The whole
Yeah.
city is with me.
Yeah, if you're sad at like a sunny beach, you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're sad when rats are running around you and someone having a manic breakdown.
You're like, at least I'm right.
Yeah.
There's just so much shared failure on a daily basis. Like I was waiting for the bus, and I was waiting for 59, and this one lady, like 61 drives up. And this one lady, I've been waiting there for 10 minutes, and this one lady just walked up, and 61 drives up, and she's like, that's my bus. I'm like, fucking lucky, wow. And then she goes up, and the guy's like, maintenance, the bus is closed. And then, like, I just watched her be disappointed. And then my bus came up, and I was like, yeah, you know. It was kind of just this sick pettiness that I was like, I have this tiny little victory.
Over this old woman.
Yeah. Poor woman just probably trying to go to a doctor's appointment. You're getting like competitive with her.
I'm like, wow.
Oh, her
yeah.
bus comes first. Like, yeah, she has kids and places to go. What do? You're on your way to record a podcast at a petting zoo. You're not in a hurry. Yeah.
Wait, speaking of the competitiveness of it, like we were talking about this last night. There's just like the amount of hot people in New York is just like insane. Like you're
It's
walking around and you're like, well, I guess, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like learning my rank as I go.
You're like, I didn't realize I was a goblin.
But like compared to LA, how do the hot people here compare to the hot people? Because LA seems like a level of hot that's like Barbie, fake, scary, and there's like a wellness culture. I feel like LA has like wellness culture hot, where here is like
Alcoholic
heroin
hot.
chic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like New York Fashion Week cigarette hot.
Yeah. It's
Prefer
an
that.
unhealthy hot, which is
yeah, but you have Gwyneth Paltrow telling you to shove like stones up your vagina.
I like an unhealthy hot because it's unsustainable. You know what I mean? Like, like you got 10 years doing that. Whereas in
Yeah.
LA, they're hot until they're 70.
forever.
Like it never ends. They got the plastic surgery. They got the
Yeah.
juice. They're,
Yeah,
they're
they're
set.
ready to roll.
Yeah, but you see like a goth girl with like a cigarette and a black coffee, and you're like, 50 years, I'm gonna look better than you, bitch. Have fun being on top while you can.
Yeah, it's like,
man.
and I can respect that. I can respect a temporary hotness because it's such a superpower. Like being hot is so powerful of a skill. Like, it's so undeniably an advantage that like to the fact that it wanes
But it's also
off.
such an easy
feels
thing
poetic.
to get. Like people act like it's like this fucking formula. It's
True,
like,
you're
just
hotter than you've ever been.
It's a compliment that was an insult, but yeah, that is.
No, what I mean, like you used to be one of us, now you got a good haircut.
yeah,
Like,
that's all it is.
wear a
Haircut,
cool shirt.
You
The-
wear
the
a
studs?
moisturizer, you get some studs.
you got any tats?
Yeah, I have a
That's
couple
fucking
tats.
sick. That's
I have a-
badass.
Yeah, I got a
I
couple
gotta get
tats.
some
I
tats.
ran in the rain today like it was part of a fucking Rocky montage.
Dude, it's sick.
You gotta start doing that.
Dude, I want to get
Yeah.
a tat. I'm too like I look. I'm a marshmallow man. That's what today taught me. Is like I'm still very soft.
I don't know if that's the thing that needs to change the most about you.
Yeah, it probably got a lot of work to do.
Are we on some kind of like cosmic seesaw where like you get hot and I get ugly? Like it can't, but it can't happen at
It's
the
like the
same
portrait
time.
of Dorian Gray.
You know what I mean? Like
Podcast of Dorian Gray. Every episode he gets more hot.
but I'm like, if I start losing weight, you're gonna start getting like fucking acne or something.
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just gonna like,
I'm trying to undermine you, dude.
yeah, we're like a yin
I'm
yang.
throwing away salad you have in the fridge, and I'm like, I just got an extra order from McDonald's, and then I feel the six-pack coming in every time. Every time you can't get a skincare routine down, I grow stronger. That's why I'm like, dude, losing weight is easy. You just feed off the semibolic energy of Maddie. That's it, dude. That is all I eat is your disappointment. Oh, my God. Well,
Oh,
speaking
damn.
of growing opportunities, I think we should get into our ads, everybody.
Oh, exciting.
Kind of a big deal on the pod now.
We're
We've done. Yeah, we just launched our YouTube channel, and somehow we already have sponsors,
We
which
have
is like
big backing, big new exciting products.
it's kind of just a testament to the hustle and the grind of it all.
Trillionaire mindset. for
Trillionaire
sure.
grind set. That's
So-
what I'm talking about.
You know, if you're anything like me, when you have a bad restaurant experience, you feel a little disappointed. All you can do is just leave a 1-star review. You don't want to leave 1 star. You want vengeance. So,
Yes.
we are proud to be backed by Better Yelp, where every time you leave a 1-star review, covert ex-CIA agents will firebomb that restaurant, leaving it more charred and dry than the chicken you were served on your anniversary. Promo code, how about that for a fucking tip? Okay. And next one, if you're anything like me, every time you hear the word manscape, you're like, great, another fucking thing I have to buy. It's not enough. Price is going up. Rent, food, you got to have the haircut, the shoot. No, your balls now have to be as hairless as a chihuahua going through chemotherapy. I'm not about that. Not about that. Just another fucking, you feel like life's this endless rat race, just like a game of whack-a-mole. Financially, you pay one bill, another one pops up, and you're going to be so busy with that, by the time you look up, you're dead. So that's why our biggest new sponsor, Man Escape, a product that allows you to fake your own death and leave this rat race once and for all. You live in a small town in Fiji, fall in love on the beach, live a simpler, happier life. Grow your ball hair down to your fucking knees the way the good Lord intended. Quit trying to look like a child down there. It's weird.
Honestly, pretty good product. Pretty good product. I would buy both of those right now. Promo
is that-
code long hair.
And our final new sponsor, we were talking about health and wellness. This is a big health and wellness product. A lot of people know like the standard NutriBox kind of deal where you get the healthy meals sent to your house. But it's missing a key ingredient because we were just talking about hotness. What does anyone try to become hot and attractive for? Power, right? So this, with the NutriBox Illuminati edition, every box comes with an ounce of high-grade, medically sourced adrenochrome. straight from the Bohemian Grove, where they choose the next president. So you could get the same power as Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump when they are covered in the blood of children, so that you can levitate above all your enemies and write that short film you've been putting off. So that's our ads for this podcast.
I love how hard you were laughing. You said the words "blood of children."
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there was a second where I was
the
like,
blood of children.
"Oh, we're taking Alex Jones' spot." All right.
some good revolutionary products. I don't know.
It's a monthly subscription.
Have you guys ever left a Yelp review?
I've never left. I think people that leave Yelp reviews are kind of sociopaths.
Oh,
I've only left
definitely.
like a positive one for like a small business.
Yeah, that's
that,
what
like,
I
wanted
do
to
when they're
help.
like rate, because the whole world, everyone has like a Patreon now. Like if you run like a restaurant or something, they're like, you know what would help us? Not making good food. People on the internet thinking this is good.
Every single waiter has their own Patreon.
Yeah, no, that's it.
They're like, no one tips, but could you please follow me
Can
on
you follow
Patreon?
the page? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I leave good reviews for like small and listen, you get life is disappointment. Like you're gonna have something that's gonna be way worse than just like a shitty meal. Unless
Yeah.
somebody like literally spit in my face, I don't think I would. Then I'd leave a 5-star review.
I only did it one time.
Great meal was hard as fuck.
One time I was at this bar and I was like making fun of the bar, and they kicked me out.
Were you on a show or were you just like?
No, I was just like at the bar drinking, and I was like, "That's
Wait,
fucking
were you
bar."
alone?
No, I was with people.
Okay,
And they
I
kicked us all out.
Oh wow.
Just because you were making fun of it?
I was
stupid.
I was making fun of the bar. I don't remember what I said, but the bartender got offended, and
That's dumb to take a bar very seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he was clearly having a bad night, and he kicked me out, and I got butthurt, and I downloaded Yelp. I didn't even have the app. And I was
Hilarious.
like, this fucking...
Yeah, I would love to see the stats on how many 1-star reviews are also right after downloading the app.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
not-
Like how
you're
many people
I'm
were
coming
driven
for
to
you.
anger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because no one's downloading it in a good mood and then being like, actually 1 star. I like gave like to like the vet that I went to. I was like, fucking come to this vet. But I don't think I've ever given a bad one. Wait, what was your bad review of it?
I don't know. I was just like, the
Bar sucks.
bartenders
You can't even make fun of it.
yeah, no, basically.
Can't even roast the guy, even though he put his heart and soul into opening this place. Worked
The other-
3 jobs to get a loan.
The funny thing about reviews nowadays is like Google reviews. If you look something up on Google Maps, one review will pop up, and that's just like what you see. That's what everybody in the city sees. So like, I hurt my back, and I was trying to get a massage, and I typed in like massage, and I clicked on the one closest to me, and the top review was not a good massage. And I was like, that's so fucked up. And then I looked at it, and there's all these positive reviews, but just like one guy, he's like a Google reviewer. And they put his to the top because
Yeah,
he's
he's
left
big.
enough reviews. Like, he has no qualifications. He just hates it. And I was like, fuck that guy. That's not fair. I went there. Not a good massage.
Yeah, he was
It was
right.
terrible. It was a waste of money.
Yeah.
They hurt me. It was terrible.
I
Very
saw-
creepy vibe.
I saw maybe the funniest review I've ever seen recently. I would love for you to guess what this product is. The review was, "This saved my marriage."
Oh, damn.
What
What?
was it,
Okay.
Blue Chew?
No, it was
Blue Chew.
it was an air conditioner.
What? How fickle is your marriage when the temperature goes up 10 degrees? You're like, I'm leaving you. I don't love you anymore.
Your marriage was on the rocks,
Yeah,
first
yeah,
of all.
yeah.
But it worked out. But every review for it was like, pretty good. Room's pretty cold. And then one was like, all cap, "This saved my marriage."
Oh, my God.
And it was a fucking air conditioner.
Maybe
It's the only way to
needs
cool her off.
couples
Go
counseling.
30. Well, that's like, to be fair, though, growing up in North Carolina, when it's like 100 degrees, you do
Yeah.
hate everyone.
Yeah, if I just sleep in a bed with someone in a hot room, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I'm
get
leaving
out.
you. Yeah, I was like, I don't love you anymore.
That's the premise of Do the Right Thing, is that it gets too hot and everybody starts kicking each other's ass.
Yeah.
So it was like, it gets too hot, everyone's racist. And I was like, well, yeah.
You
If
do
they'd
get-
have had this product.
You do get a certain rage about you. when
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
100.
A review of an air conditioner that's like, this actually solved racial issues in
Yeah,
America.
Everything's. I refuse to live without an air
Yeah.
conditioner.
I
I
can't
thought I was
believe
racist. I was just hot. Clip it. Clip it.
I can't believe people used to live without air conditioners.
Yeah, you just get sticky and
Like, you ever seen those things where they, like, in New York in, like, I don't know what it is, like the fucking 1920s, they would have, like, babies in, like, these little cages that, like, sat outside the window so they could, like, get fresh air. It was almost like a little fire escape, and you would just, like, put your baby's crib out on it.
Dang.
Because that was, like,
I
you
feel
know
like
what
in the 1900s, kids died so often. You're like, yeah, just put that one in a crate outside.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
like trying different methods with different kids.
Yeah.
Also, it was pre-global warming, so they didn't even need air conditioning. You know?
It's
Yeah,
still
maybe
got-
it wasn't
it's
as
still
hot.
got
Like
pretty
60
fucking hot,
degrees.
though. There is a movie from the 50s where apparently this was a thing where in New York they sent like the kids and the wife upstate because it was cooler, and then the dad would stay and like work in the city, but it's like brutal and hot. And
Damn.
the premise of this entire movie is Marilyn Monroe moves up upstairs and he just has to try not to fuck her. That's just the premise of the movie. It's like she's just hot. She's like, oh my god, like it's so hot in here. I take a bath. And he's like, oh fuck, I want to fuck her so bad. And he's like, that's it.
What does he do? Does he fuck her?
No,
I
he
guess
doesn't.
Spoilers. Wow.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. It's like it just ends. He doesn't fuck her, and she comes. She
Yeah,
moves
it's
back
kind of
in.
like just the first 10 minutes of a porn, but for like an hour and a half with no payoff.
It's a plumber shows up and is like, I'm here to fix the pipes. But then he just fixes the pipes
Yeah,
and
he
leaves.
just goes home. And she's just like, oh my god.
And they
you're
both
such a
jerk
hero.
off alone later that night
Yeah,
by
he's
themselves.
like, oh, thanks, lady. He's like, put your shirt back on, by the way. Yeah, it looks like you forgot your shirt. Don't know what that's about.
Oh shit. Okay, wait, we have 10 minutes. Our thing this week that I brought to the table, I don't even know what we call this section of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just like our thing we think of. Because sometimes it's like a weird history fact. Like we did one on this like this cross-dressing squirrel. Like it was like a male
What?
squirrel that wore women's clothing, and they like paraded it around and like sold war bonds. Like
by
it's just,
choice, like the squirrel elected women's clothing.
No,
I didn't
but
even
the people who dressed it did because they thought pants would be too hard to tailor around its tail. But it's just so funny that they were like cross-dressing because it should be wearing a suit. It's a squirrel. But it's just random shit like that.
Republicans get mad at the type of like the squirrel needs to be wearing men's clothes. Like, hey, squirrels don't wear clothes.
But we do it, so it's kind of just random shit. But this one, okay, it's not really that funny, but I do think it's interesting that I wanted to like. Have you heard of the bicameral mind theory?
No, you'd have to refresh me.
Okay. Oh no! Oh Jeeves, you'd have to refresh me. You've never heard of it.
No. That's like my go-to. I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, there's so often people will say a thing, and I'm like, oh, yes. Well, I've actually been a bit more busy researching Roman mythology recently.
I'm more of a
Bicam-
Proust man myself,
yeah,
but
yeah.
if you could jog my memory.
Yeah, like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
just getting into that.
Yeah,
oh God,
Oh,
it's been
just-
so
it's
long.
I think I read about that in 3rd grade, so it's a little
Oh,
dusty.
I put the theorem out of my mind for I thought it was outdated, but please. It's it's this theory that like I'm doing the for dummies version because I'm a dummy, so I'm probably getting some shit wrong. But I think the gist of it is that like so you know when you like have a thought
Yeah.
For sure. All
and
the
you're
time.
like there's a theory that like early humans or like as recently as like 3,000 years ago that they had two separate parts of their mind, basically the part that like thought things and then the part that acted on them.
The part that
And-
wants to fuck Marilyn Monroe and the part that loves their family.
Exactly. Thanks for bringing this into the common man. Yeah.
He sits his wife down and he's like, look, the way the human mind
Yeah,
works,
yeah. Have you heard of the theory?
Don't blame it on me. Blame it on evolution, sweetheart.
from 9 to 5, I'm working and I fuck my secretary.
Yeah.
And then from 5 to midnight, I love you.
I'm a
Yeah.
different man.
It's called the Don Draper theory.
Yeah, your husband didn't fuck that woman. It was his other half of my brain.
Yeah.
That's
Blame,
what-
blame it on the hippocampus.
But the bicameral mind theory is basically that there's those two parts of your mind, and that's why human beings like came up with the idea of God, because they would hear a thought like, I should drink water, and they thought it was coming from somewhere else. And the idea is that the origin of human consciousness is when those two sides like fused, and they were like, oh, I'm the one thinking these things.
Yeah.
But they felt more like a robot receiving orders. But it's just so funny to me that you would have a thought like, I should walk over there, and they'd be like, "Who the fuck just said that?" Like that's that's literally how you like hear something in your head, and you're like, "Oh, that food looks good," and they're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah,
Possessed.
Who the fuck said that?
And they were like, "There must be a man in the sky whispering in my ear." Like that's terrifying.
Well, it also makes more sense because all of the like 10 commandments and sins in the Bible and stuff, they are just like intrusive thoughts where it's like, it's a sin to want to fuck your brother. All right. It's a goddamn horrible sin that the devil's putting in your brain. It's for sure not me thinking about that all the time.
One of them is to lust after your neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
They are all intrusive thoughts. Don't
Yeah.
steal that.
Don't steal that. Yeah,
Don't steal that. I love adding that.
Yeah.
Don't steal that.
don't steal that one thing.
Don't steal that. Don't kill him.
Yeah, don't lie.
Yeah, don't steal that.
Steal
Yeah.
Don't steal that.
It's very present. Don't steal that.
Listen.
You know what my favorite 10 commandment? Stop.
Yeah. Cut that out.
Hey,
Be cool.
Yeah.
save that kebab. For
Knock
dinner.
it off.
I really would appreciate it.
All 10 of them are just like very strict orders. Knock it off. Cut that shit out.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Chill.
Yeah.
Stop killing the vibe.
One of them's just yo. Oh man.
But I just thought that was crazy that there was a time when human beings heard their inner monologue and were like, "What the fuck is that?"
But that, if you think about it, makes sense. Like, if you're figuring out everything for the first time, if you're like, hey, dude, I sharpen the stick, fucking stab that thing, we'll get some food, rub these sticks together, that's fine. And then a thought pops into your head, you're like, clearly there's like a sky thing. I don't know, dude. Because I don't know, it was like someone was talking, but I wasn't talking. We don't even really have a language. We kind of just paint.
True.
Yeah, you don't
photos
even
of
have language to articulate what it
Yeah.
is, so you were just like, there was like words in my head.
There's
And you
no
don't even have
written
words.
history of
Right.
anything.
Can you imagine if you like figured out the tools to draw and you're like, what's the most beautiful thing there is? You're like, that buffalo over there.
Yeah.
My wife and kids, you're like, yeah, I killed the buffalo and eat it.
You know, they think a lot of early cave paintings. This is really interesting. I think it was like a kind of recent in the last few years discovery. But they used to think that it was like whatever, like a male kind of intellectual pursuit. And but they
Cave paintings?
yeah
Interesting.
but then but now they think because one of the handprints in I think it's like those old caves in France, whatever they're called. One of the handprints, they thought it was a big hand. They thought it was like a male hand, but it turns out what they were doing is they were like had like a pigment in like a ball in a tube, and they blew it, and it like sprays past the hand and leaves an outline. So actually it would have been a smaller hand that projects a bigger image, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's far away. And so it actually was more likely a child's hand, and that cave paintings were something that like mothers and children and families did
makes sense.
to like entertain each
That's
other
like a
rather
fun
than being
activity.
like for the ages. It's like, no, they were just fucking around.
Well, that's a pretty, that seems like such a like early European thing.
Imagine-
It's like, it had to be, that's good. A man must have done that.
They were documenting
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the future. And they were like, they didn't have any idea that like, well, one day when there's civilizations, they were just like, this is fun.
It's a fun
And I'm trying to
ride.
get my kid to have fun.
It's also
Yeah.
like in the caveman years, being the guy in the family who wants to go into the arts. Like, we need food.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just want to draw. Like, this
yeah, you
is
think
my
it's hard to be a
passion.
painter now.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
like-
back then, there was a lot of social
It's
pressure.
like, I
to
draw a
hunt.
good buffalo. You can't deny that.
What do you mean you
Yeah,
don't
you
want to
can't
hunt?
hunt a buffalo worth a damn. I'll tell you that, son.
We can't eat paint.
Can't eat paint.
Can't eat paint.
No son of mine. You don't understand him, John. He's talented. He's a softer soul.
Yeah.
Feed him to the fucking lions. How about that? You think I learned how to walk upright just so my son could fucking walk on all fours all over me? Destroy this family? Piece of shit.
It's tough. Family's hard. That's all we're trying
Family's
to
tough.
say. Humanity.
But that's fun. There's also a lot of theories that like, because it's like based when you have more dopamine in your brain, it leads to like more sort of like spiritual thinking and like seeing connections that aren't there. So there is like a lot of theories that like most shamans were just like schizophrenic people.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that, it was
It
It
just
also
a
is funny.
crazy-
They're like, actually, there's a study that links being happy to being completely delusional.
True.
The kind of the more happy you are, the less connected to reality and
Oh,
events
well, a
you
little
seem to
bit.
be.
Yeah, you're like, wow, everything's wonderful. You're like, he's out of his fucking mind.
Reality is a bummer.
But that's like with the shaman thing too. There's like some Terrence McKenna shit where he's like, well, actually, schizophrenic people are enlightened. And it's like, look, maybe like living in a surveillance state, I'm sure makes paranoid schizophrenics more, probably
They are-
intensifies their
they- yeah.
systems. But it's not like it's this idyllic state that
No,
if
it's-
only capitalism wouldn't
Yeah,
get in the way, these geniuses could run free.
It's-
Like it is still kind
It's
of like
a hellish mental illness. Yeah.
It doesn't
you think it
help
would-
that we based our society around the ramblings of schizophrenic people. We're like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Surveillance state? Yeah. They keep talking about it. Let's
This
build
is
it.
Good, yeah.
Every year it gets closer to the truth. Like, oh,
No,
guys.
it really is tough to.
Fuck.
Wait, it's like, yeah, we were in the woods and a schizophrenic guy was like, everyone's watching me. And we were like, we should all start watching each other.
yeah, that's a good idea.
We should be filming everything 24/7 and just
Posting
keep an
it on
eye.
Instagram.
I heard recently the average person's filmed 50 times a day.
Jesus.
What?
If you think about it, and I thought about that, I was on a run at the park
One.
recently.
Yeah. As we're being
As we're like,
that's impossible.
Whoa, what? People
No
are
way.
watching us? I said it to this microphone as I beg people to watch me every fucking day. Why do we care about a surveillance state?
Recording, lighting, setup. It's a surveillance state. As we're please surveil us. Please watch this.
Please surveil us.
You could
a
surveil.
good name for the
You
pod.
want more surveillance for an extra $5 a month? You can
Oh my god.
I
love
get to the
Please Surveil
surveillance
Us.
state level of the Patreon for $10. Yeah.
But I was running in the park, and this lady was doing a TikTok dance, and I passed her 2 times, like 2 days in a row, and I noticed both times I was like in the background of her video. So I was like, how many fucking random weird videos people film are you just like in the background?
Oh.
Does that include security cams? Because I would buy
Yeah,
that.
security cams.
That's like a
That's
lot.
like security cams is a lot.
Okay.
Does it
yeah.
include like satellites and like Google Earth taking pictures, like that kind of shit?
Yeah.
It does.
Does it include dick pics?
Yeah. In which case, yeah, that's where
Whoa.
the 50's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's all clicking now.
Wow, 50 times a day? That's like more times than I like probably stand up to walk. Oh God, the rabbit's on the bed.
Rabbits on the bed.
Rabbits on the bed.
Okay, I got to deal with this.
This
He's
is a-
gonna eat my
This is a
fucking.
podcast segment.
Yeah, I thought like a sound was rabbit on the bed. Yeah. And he's gonna start
Well, the rabbit's on the bed. You know what that means? It's time for the mailbox. No, it means the rabbit's on the fucking bed, and he's gonna piss on my laptop. Should we go? Should we go over to the Patreon?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Yeah, folks.